Hello everybody, my name is EK and welcome back to the channel. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about the announced Generation 3 Legendaries. And the reason I want to talk about these is because I think they could do something really special with them. Because, let's be real here, the Generation 1 and the Generation 2 Legendaries, they're great weapon skins. I love them, I own multiple, and I would like to go for more of them. But with the amount of amazing skins in the gem store recently, I feel like the game is kind of saturated. I feel like, yes, they can add even more flashy things, but it's kind of getting difficult to even compete with the gem store, let alone beat the gem store. Like, in order to do that, I feel like at this point, they're going to have to go for such like ridiculous flashy effects that it's going to just add to the visual bloat that is Guild Wars 2 right now. So this video is mainly just about what they can do with the third generation of Legendaries to kind of, make them stand apart and, beat their own unique thing. So I have a couple ideas, and, this video is not me talking about all my ideas and the things that I think should happen. It's just I'm going to be offering a couple options, and I would love to hear from you guys in the comments what your ideas are. So my first one would be one that I've heard multiple times, which is a random skin selector. So what this would be is every time you draw your weapons, you would have a different set of skins equipped. So let's say you have a greatsword and you have the Generation 3 Legendary Greatsword. You could use its own skin, which, should be a great skin. But we all know, as much as people like the Legendaries, and yes, the first month you'll be like, oh my god, I have a Legendary, let me rock it. But after a while, you don't get bored of it, but you want to do some different things, try some different color schemes, etc. So what I've heard multiple people mention, which I still think is a great idea, is to either have a complete randomizer, which means every time you sheath your weapons, they transform into something else. So your Sunrise or your Twilight becomes a different skin, for example. The reason that's interesting is because I would like them to also add the functionality to select your own predetermined list, and the game can choose from those. So let's say you have an Elementalist, for example, and you want to have like this fiery theme going on. So instead of selecting all your skins, you would just select the skins that go well with the fiery themes, the red ones, the orange ones, the fiery greatsword, like all those skins, Volcanus. And then as you go in and out of combat, like you'll keep swapping between them, so you keep up some variety while still being able to make sure it somewhat fits with your look. So that's one that I personally really like, and I feel like even though they could add it as a base functionality, they could also add it as something you can do when you have a legendary weapon from the Generation 3 set. Now the next one that I've also heard multiple times, which I still think should have been a core functionality in the game, but at this point probably isn't coming, it is Diable Weapons. So the main weapon set where I've always thought this should have been in the game is the Chaos Weapon set. If you guys don't know, the Chaos Weapon set is a weapon set that is like pure bright white light. You also, however, have Chaos Gloves, and Chaos Gloves are Diable. Now, they still kind of remain white tinted, so if you go for red, like it's white with some red included, but the idea is still great, so I feel like you should have those kind of weapons be Diable. Now, they probably won't go back and retroactively add that to the game. However, having the Generation 3 Legendary weapons be Diable would be amazing. So, if it is a weapon with a certain effect, like your armor, you could have the effect be a certain color to match with your set, which would allow a lot more customization, and it would really entice me to go for it, because I really like color matching my sets. Now, to add on to that, I feel like they could even go a step further and add a column randomizer. So just like with your weapons, you could constantly have a random color. So when I draw my greatsword, it'll be red, or it'll be green, or it'll be blue, or whatever color. You could even, but this might be very hard to code, but I would personally really love it, is if you could set like a gradient. So, I think they're called the Alchemist weapons. I have like this color that is, I think it's changing between like purple and green and blue or something, and like it kind of like gradient transitions itself to the next color. It would be so amazing if you could set up like color A, color B, color C, and like it would just like gradient rotate through all of those. Like that would be amazing. So something like that where you could really customize your weapons with color a lot more. I feel like that would add a lot more to the game without making it overly flashy. Because as I mentioned, there are so many flashy gem store skins in the game right now. There are skins that are personally, in my opinion, better than the skins currently available as legendary weapons, which they don't have the functionality of a legendary, but they look great. And to be fair, that's a big part of why you want to buy legendaries. Even though the armory is coming up, it's going to make the functionality part's a lot more important, I still think it's important to have great skins. And I don't want them to just add a legendary that's like twice as flashy, and now everyone's wielding that one, and like the game becomes even more of a visual, noisy environment to look at. Because if you guys have watched, it's the final, it's just going to become even worse, and we don't want that. So I think they should not go overboard with it and start looking at other things. Now, that's all I could come up with personally. There are probably dozens, if not hundreds, of great ideas that we could talk about. And what I would like you guys to do is please go into the comments. If you have any great ideas, or you want to comment on my ideas with like ways to make them better, or, you know, tell me how shit my ideas are, anything, just like let me know what you think, because I'm kind of curious, because I'm wondering if I'm the only one who's like, yeah, we need to swap to a different selling point for legendaries. Because I'm assuming that by now, most veteran players have at least a single legendary. So, like, I have a dagger, I have a staff, I have a greatsword, I have a scepter, I have my armor, I have my back piece. I want to be enticed to go for the new set for a reason. Like, if I like the way the dagger looks, I want to be enticed to go for it, not just for like one skin. Because if I want to go for that for just one skin, then I think I'd rather go for a different weapon to get the functionality of that weapon. So, you know, there's multiple reasons why I want this, and, you know, this video is turning into a bit of a rant again, which is, I feel like, kind of standard for my videos. But let me end this here before I talk about other things that are completely irrelevant. So, thank you very much for watching, let me know what you think, and have a nice day. I'll see you around, guys.